Thousands of soldiers, hundreds of servants, dozens of camels, and each camel carried something almost unimaginable: gold. So much gold that entire cities would talk about it for generations. Merchants stopped what they were doing. Crowds gathered in the streets. And rulers began asking the same question: who is this man? And where did his wealth come from? Because what followed would shake the economies of entire regions and introduce the world to one of the most powerful empires in history. This is the story of Mansa Musa. To understand this moment, we need to travel back to 14th century West Africa. At the time, the Mali Empire was one of the largest and most prosperous kingdoms on earth. It stretched across vast territories that today include Mali, Senegal, Mauritania, Guinea, and Niger. Its wealth came from something incredibly valuable in the medieval world: gold and salt. Gold powered global trade. It flowed through North Africa, across the Mediterranean, and into Europe and the Middle East. And the Mali Empire controlled many of the richest gold mines on the planet. At the center of this empire was its ruler, Mansa Musa. He became emperor in 1312, inheriting a kingdom already rich. But Musa would transform it into something even greater, not just through wealth, but through vision, diplomacy, and knowledge. One of the most significant journeys of his life would soon begin, a journey that would place the Mali Empire on the global map. In 1324, Mansa Musa set out on a pilgrimage to Mecca, one of the most important journeys a Muslim could make. But his pilgrimage was unlike anything the world had ever seen. Historical accounts describe a caravan of tens of thousands of people: soldiers, scholars, servants, musicians, officials, and hundreds of camels, each carrying large quantities of gold. As the caravan traveled north across the Sahara, it passed through trading cities and desert outposts. Everywhere Musa went, people noticed. But the most dramatic moment came when he arrived in Cairo, Egypt. Mansa Musa spent generously. He gave gold to the poor. He gifted it to officials. He distributed it to merchants and travelers. His generosity was legendary, but it had an unexpected consequence. The price of gold dropped. For years afterward, Cairo's economy struggled with inflation caused by the sudden flood of gold. Historians still discuss this moment as one of the earliest examples of a ruler influencing international markets through sheer wealth. But Musa's journey was not only about gold. Along the way, he connected with scholars, architects, and intellectuals from across the Islamic world, and he invited many of them back to Mali. One architect in particular would help shape the cultural future of the empire. Together, they began building mosques, schools, and centers of learning. When Mansa Musa returned home, the Mali Empire entered a golden age of education, architecture, and trade. Cities like Timbuktu became world-renowned centers of scholarship. Universities and libraries flourished. Scholars studied mathematics, astronomy, law, and philosophy. Thousands of manuscripts were written and preserved. This challenges a common myth. For centuries, many believed that pre-colonial Africa had no written intellectual tradition. But places like Timbuktu tell a very different story, a story of scholarship, literacy, and global connection. Meanwhile, Mansa Musa's legendary pilgrimage made the Mali Empire famous far beyond Africa. European mapmakers even began placing him on world maps, a powerful king, seated on a throne, holding a piece of gold. Today, the story of Mansa Musa reminds us that history is far larger than the stories we usually hear. Empires rose across Africa, knowledge flourished in its cities, and leaders like Musa shaped global trade centuries ago. But many of these stories faded from memory, not because they were insignificant, but because they were forgotten. History did not forget them. We did, and sometimes all it takes is one journey across a desert to remind the world what greatness looks like. If you want more stories the world forgot, subscribe to Glow History.